What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Friday, July 26th, day number 11 inside the Big Brother house. The first eviction of the season took place last night, seeing Matt walk out as the first boot. Who won HoH? Who is the target this week? Plus everything you need to know from the live feeds last night. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Speaking of streams, I do need to apologize. I was going to stream last night, a watch party for the eviction episode, and I plan on doing that for all the eviction episodes going forward as well. We were also going to do our first live stream of the morning this Friday. Today I was going to be starting those up for the weeks. But I've been having tech issues, so it was a whole thing. I couldn't even get the episode to stream on Paramount Plus last night. Then my OBS was acting weird. Things record fine, obviously. You're seeing me here. And I didn't want to risk the video not being ready for the morning. So here we are recording this here for you guys. We did have the eviction last night. Let's talk about the episode, because we have had just really good episodes this season. It feels like the editing is more on point. The diary rooms feel just more natural and real. I'm just really liking what they're doing this season. There are, still that like haha little silly humor every so often, but it's done more in a way that's, I don't know. I don't want to say tasteful. That doesn't sound right, but palatable, right? Palatable. I can accept this type of humor. I actually kind of giggle at some of this type of humor. I use that type of humor on this channel. Some of you guys like it. So I've really been enjoying the episodes this season. And there were some things they added into the episode that we saw, some things that we didn't see. I understand some of the cuts they made here and there. Like, for example, we didn't see any of the Angela versus Lisa fight. I really wanted to see that. I didn't expect them to show it, though. I mentioned that yesterday. If we get it at all, I think we'll be on a flashback on like the HoH episode on Sunday. But I don't know. I don't know if we'll actually ever see anything with that. It's kind of been written out, right? Like anytime somebody brings it up, they kind of don't want them to talk about it. So it seems like they're kind of sweeping that one under the rug. I assume that one got a little bit personable. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't want to speculate, but yeah, seems like they're trying to make that one disappear a little bit. We did see the Kenney blow up, though, so that was kind of cool to see. Eventually, though, with the episode, it was all things that we know and nothing too crazy. But we get to the BB arena, which was all about counting. So they had pictures of different house guests, and whoever had the most pictures that were shown, that was going to be the answer. They only had a certain limited amount of time to lock their answers in, or it wouldn't be valid. I don't know. It was a cool comp. I kind of liked it. It was a little bit of a spin on two different kinds of classic comps that they do, almost like a little bit of the estimation, right? Like you could sit there and count each one, but I think the strategy would be like, okay, I know there's three. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw Angela a lot. I'm just locking that one and I'm going for it. At least that would have been me. I would have estimated which one I think was the most, and then just locked it in. I wouldn't have sat there and count each individual person. I feel like you could have done it that way. But either way, all three of them locked in different answers, which then it kind of occurred to me. I was like, actually, what if they all get it wrong? I didn't know, like, if all three of them had answered the wrong answer, what happens then? Is it just who locked in first? I wasn't 100% sure on that. It didn't matter, though, because Chemo, not only did he lock in first, he got the answer right. He is your winner. And when I tell you, this house celebrated like they just won the Super Bowl, World Series, the NBA championship, that they just had a baby. It's their wedding night. It was everything all in one. They were going nuts. I've never seen the house just like be that happy of an outcome before that didn't involve themselves. Like, yeah, like if somebody wins an HoH, there's a couple people. It was like the entire house. Almost everybody was cheering. Like the only ones not cheering was like Lisa, Mackenzie, and Leia. And that was like it. Uh, everybody else was going wild. They were going so hard with the celebration, they had to cut to the fishes during the live broadcast because I'm pretty sure they were dropping f bombs and all kinds of stuff. They were going crazy, and it's interesting because I then kind of wonder had like Matt won, would it been like a needle dropping in there? Like just silence. What would the scenario have been in that situation? That would have been more kind of fun to see. After that, that leaves Matt and Kenney as the nominees for the night. And Julie gave them time. She was like, "All right, you guys have some time here, like 60 seconds or so to campaign." Which I think by saying 60 seconds, they just assumed, "Oh, we're doing our speeches right now." Like I don't think they understood what she was implying because they just stood there and they were all standing in a group. And then Julie's like, I mean, you guys could go off into other rooms." Like, I think they were hoping to get kind of the chaos of a double eviction, right? Where everybody's running off into different rooms and that whole scramble to figure out what you're going to do, what are the votes going to be. And that didn't happen. They just kind of gave their nom speeches while they were standing there. It was pretty awkward. And it ended up though that we had the eviction take place. Matt went 8-3. Not really a surprise if you've been keeping up with our allegiance chart here. You can just kind of take a good visual there of how many people were really close to the Matt side. Not so much, right? Not so much. And actually, I think this is still a good chart for the most part. There's some things I would move around here and there. We'll have one of those updated. I'll probably work on that today and try and do a little bit of a new one just to give a better idea of what's going on now that we know some more information. And plus, I like seeing how they interact for the whole day after the HOH because sometimes that first night, everybody's just putting on the face, right? You don't really know. But we'll get to not how everybody was doing that last night. Not everybody was putting on a face. So Matt was evicted 8-3. And again, not really a surprise. And I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of buybacks in Big Brother. I think once you walk through that door, you should be done. That's it. But man, I really would have liked if Matt would have walked back in just for the face that Angela's reaction is all I need. Don't even put him in the game. Just put him in the house for 2 seconds. Have him walk in and walk out. I just need the freak out from Angela. Please, that's all I'm begging. That's all. He can walk in, get Angela's reaction, and then dip. He's gone again. I don't even want him in the game. I just need Angela to think he's in the game for a second. Just say it. Just give somebody a card that says Big Brother says that Matt's coming back into the game, and then have her freak out. I please for me. Just one thing. That pretty much wraps up the episode, though. What did you guys think of that episode last night? Were you happy to see Matt go? Would you rather have them voted Kenney out, who seems like he is pretty much checked out at this point in the game? Are you happy that Chemo won? Let me know about those in the comments down below. But let's get into the live feeds because we know a lot. We know who won HOH. We know who they want to nominate. We know who their actual target is. Plus, there's so much more information to go over here, especially because they had a very interesting talk with somebody who has a power. So let's get into it. Who won HOH? In fact, before we tell you who won HOH, we'll tease this just for a second longer. The feeds did come back pretty quickly after the episode. So this is actually pretty rare to get pre-HOH feeds post-eviction. Usually the feeds won't come back until after the West Coast airing of the episode's over, or the HOH competition. Whatever comes first usually, right? And normally it's the end of the West Coast airing, which is the thing that comes first. Then we'll get the episodes when the HOH competition is done, right? So it's kind of a rare thing that we actually get these. And I don't know if this was just because the HOH competition was going to take a little bit longer, so they were okay doing it, and then we don't have flashbacks, so they wanted to put it up, or if it was a mistake, they didn't really actually mean to put them up for that much. But then once the HOH competition took place, they took the feeds down, and then they came back up, and we found out everything else, and we had the feeds for the rest of the night. But I do kind of hope that they keep doing this. I would like post eviction pre HOH feeds more often. I think it's kind of cool seeing their initial reaction. Nothing crazy came from it. We didn't get too much, just you know, a little convos here and there about, you know, how the vote went with MJ, Leah, and Lisa all being the ones to vote for Matt. There was kind of a fun little quick convo that we had with Quinn and Chemo in the storage room where he was like, "Are you going to use your power?" And he's like, "No, I don't think I am." So that was kind of cool. But again, nothing too crazy, but just interesting and fun to see different types of feeds that we don't normally get to see. I can remember maybe a handful of times it's happened just because the HOH competition was going to happen so much later, or maybe it didn't happen by the time the West Coast airing was over, so they gave us the feeds just until they set up the HOH because they didn't even start it yet. So it was kind of cool to see, and I hope they give it to us more. Anyway, back to the feeds. Who won HOH? You guys are like, Ori, you're killing me here. Like, get to the point. So your HOH for the week is Chelsea. Chelsea is your HOH. And if you were watching yesterday, and if we go back to our little allegiance chart here, just to kind of give you an idea, Chelsea's one of the only people in the house that absolutely did not need to win HOH at all. Like, this was maybe the worst thing she possibly could have done. She knows it, though. To be fair, she had a little cam talk. Told you guys before, I love a house guest that has a cam talk and talks to us on the live feeds, kind of gives us insight into what they're thinking. I absolutely love it. And she had a little cam talk where she was saying, you know, I know I didn't need to win this, but she felt like a little sketched out because it was a question competition where, you know, people were getting eliminated. Leah was still in it, and she was just a little sketched out, right? She's not necessarily believing that Leah wasn't aligned with Matt and MJ, especially voting for Matt to stay now. Leah just says, she's like, I wasn't aligned with him, but it was like we were in the room together and I stayed up because I couldn't sleep. She doesn't really buy that stuff. So she was worried about her winning, so she wanted to stay in the competition. She ended up winning the competition, even though she didn't want to. What is her plan though? Well, her target's Lisa. She said to the camera very definitively, I'm coming for the one with the pink hair who's a fake chef. she is going to be very happy to get rid of Lisa. She'll probably put up MJ, Kenney, Leah is a possibility, Angela is a possibility for noms, but there are some complications with all this because all of them have different reasons on maybe why they shouldn't go up or why they should go up. Kenney's, like I said, he's out, right? Like, he's already said, like, hey, like, put me up, please. he's already kind of volunteering to go up on the block. So that's a pretty easy one for her to put up there. Though, if you wanted somebody to go home this week, someone very specific that wasn't Kenney, you don't want to put Kenney up then, right? Because at that point, you're just giving your HOH to getting rid of the guy who wants to quit. If he wants to quit, just let him quit. In fact, he wants to quit so bad, the have-nots were picking people to be have-nots for the next week. And he told Cam, if you pick me for a have-not, I'm just going to quit. And Cam's like, I couldn't do that to him. You should have just done it to him, Cam. If he wants to quit and walk on out, great. Boy, perfect. That's one less person you have to evict. One less. Good. Just let it happen. And I wouldn't want to use my HOH to get Kenney out. I feel like that would be a waste, especially when you have to nominate other people and you're making enemies. It would be an absolute waste of her HOH, but it just makes sense to kind of put him up because he wants to be, and it could be the least amount of blood. Again, she shouldn't have won HOH. Very simple. Other possibilities. You got MJ. She has a power though, so that's an issue. We'll get to a conversation that Chelsea has with MJ. It's very interesting. Other possibilities, Angela, she's even said that she expects to go up as an option. So you could put her up. Leah, I wouldn't put Leah up. Again, despite her voting with the other side and saying she's not with them. And really, if you look at the allegiance chart, I do believe Leah is not really with them. Like she leans more towards the middle, right? She didn't necessarily like, I don't even think like them that much. It's just the fact that she's in the same room with them. She was staying up late with them. She, was chatting with them. I think she got along more with Mackenzie than she did Matt necessarily. And it was just kind of that, they were all hanging out together. I don't know. I think Leah, you could pull over. And if you put her up on the block, it kind of hurts that. But if you leave her off the block, you might be able to kind of pull over to your side. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Chelsea. Some other things though is she doesn't want to do one-on-ones. Like she doesn't want to like be like, hey, it is Quinn's turn, come on up. It's Tucker's turn, come on up. Angela, you're next, come on up. She wants to let them come to her, right? And honestly, that's the best way to do it. If you're HOH, this is kind of what you want to do, right? Like don't put in it. If somebody doesn't want to come talk to you, that means they're either thinking that, well, it doesn't matter, he's going to put me up anyway, super comfortable and I don't have to worry about talking to him, or maybe they run to you scared and you could tell. If they're putting in the effort to come talk to you, it's way more in your benefit. Somebody doesn't come talk to you, easy, you didn't even talk to me, you're going up on the block and you have an excuse. So I kind of like that plan that she has with it. She did end up talking to MJ here. And that was kind of her first conversation. But again, before we get to that, there's a couple other things that happened. So Tucker was with her when she first got her HOH. And even kind of the funny thing with that too was I didn't know if everyone was going to go because we mentioned have-nots. And I think it could be fun to talk about them as well. The have-nots for this week. Well, they were chosen by the previous have-nots. Lisa was chosen by Tucker. I don't know who chose the other ones, but the have-nots this week will be Lisa, Leah, MJ, and Rubina. So hopefully Lisa goes off and has a great time, and maybe she gets nominated as well. So we could be in for a Lisa blow up. As far as other potential nominees, Angela had asked Cam to kind of put in a good word for her. Tucker also pitched Leah as a potential nominee as well. So it should be interesting. Also, another funny thing with Angela, she saw Rubina talking to Lisa. And afterwards she goes, is there anything I should be worried about? She is constantly paranoid. Rubina later filled Lisa in on this conversation. And Lisa's like, well, are people just not allowed to talk to me? Are they not allowed? Are we not allowed to have conversations? So I cannot wait. There might be another blow up. Poor Quinn might have some more heartburn coming up for him. Couple of other things before we get to the big MJ Chelsea conversation, because it's kind of a key one. Brooklyn and Leah, they had a little convo, and Brooklyn actually tipped Leah off that she was going to vote for Matt after chemo won. And Leah's like, look, I'm cool with it, right? Like, I don't like, you voted for Matt, that's fine, thank you for filling me in. So that's kind of like just an interesting little tidbit. And then we also had like super late night. We had Quinn, TK, chemo. Joseph joined them at one point, talking in the backyard, trying to maybe they could get the collective back up and running. Just talking about who they like, who they don't, pros and cons of everybody. Joseph wasn't there for all of this. He came later. And even before he came, Quinn, TK, and chemo were kind of talking about, doing this little 3-person thing. They were talking about the collective, and then even having, I believe what they were calling the third eye as like the inner group of that. And I would assume that would be like the 3 of Quinn, TK, and chemo. So that's something to keep an eye on to. Joseph potentially with that group. And I could see them, you know, trying to go after maybe like a Rubina, Tucker, Angela, kind of getting that like the under, you know, that like circly you there, right? Because they see how good Cam is. They see how good Cedric is. They see how good Chelsea is, and they worry about that and how close they are. So there could be like kind of a thing that happens where they form maybe a little bit of a thing. So just keep an eye out on that as well. And now let's get to probably the biggest conversation of the night. So MJ and Chelsea, they kind of talk about like, look, you know, I felt bad about not knowing about it, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not mad that he's gone, right? I'm just mad that nobody told me. And Chelsea kind of asked, she's like, you know, why did you stick so much by him, especially when like people were saying about like the whole showman's thing, and that kind of made people a little bit worried. Like, why didn't you like distance yourself at all? And she's like, I I mean, like, we were in the same bedroom. Kind of the same thing Leah was saying. We were in the same bedroom. We were up late at night talking. I did like the guy, but not like that. Wasn't a showman's. I'm going to push him away just because people have this impression that that's going on. Like, he seemed like he was a good game player. I wanted to work with him. Nobody else seemed to want to work with him now. And that's a thing. So, like, what did you want me to do? Like, push him away? And it was just kind of like, I get it, right? But also at the same time, I don't know. It was just a very awkward conversation at that point. And it really all led to MJ going, you know what? I have the power, right? I didn't care. I didn't care about him so much. I didn't use the power to save him. In fact, I had full power to save him. It's America's veto. But the thing is, it's kind of weird because America votes. She told her everything. And she said it in a way like, you know, I trust you, so like I want to tell you this. But really, I think she could just tell the conversation wasn't going well. And she was throwing this out as a last ditch, like, all right, so you were going to think of nominating me. Here's why you shouldn't, because I'm going to be off the block anyway. So she kind of did what Matt did, but presented it in a much nicer box with a better bow. I don't think it's going to matter. It's actually, I think, more of a reason to put her up. But she did it better. She did it better. Now, she brought up the idea too that if it was her and she was going after someone, you know, she wouldn't put up that person, right? For her example was Angela. She's like, I wouldn't put up Angela. I would put up people who are strong, who could possibly win it. So you, so she really was doing bad. She really was doing bad. And she did also bring up the idea too that it's like, hey, I have this power, but it's not that great, right? Like one of the other reasons I didn't use it was because I take him down, and who's to say they don't put up Leah because they think it's funny? And hey, us fans would never encourage voting for some just because it was funny. We would never. I may have thought that actually initially. Now that I think about it, yeah, I think that's exactly that was exactly the plan. Was wait to see who she takes down and then vote the most funny possible person that would be to be the replacement. And I don't know. Here's the thing. After she left, Chelsea started to contemplate whether or not she should put her up to flush the power out or not. And I've seen some people saying like, "Oh no, don't put MJ up now. You know, if it's best for your game to not put up MJ." What was best for Chelsea's game was not winning HoH, period. But now we're here, and I think you just have to flush the power. In fact, I think it's the only move you can make. And not only is it the only move you can make now that she knows that she has the power, MJ kind of gave you all the ammo you need to do it. You can put her up and say, listen, you could put up Lisa, MJ, Leah, Kenney, whoever you want, right? You don't even have to put Angela up at all. And you could say, I just want to, I think your idea was really good. I don't want to put Angela up because then she has a chance of taking herself off. I'm putting you up, one, because I think you can win the veto, but also if last chance, you can use the veto and we can hope that America wants to see Angela gone too. And that way you're flushing the veto. You're kind of putting MJ up and you're saying, well, you kind of told me, you gave me the plan. She's probably going to be mad at you either way, but you just got to do it. If she doesn't put her up, I would say if Chelsea does not nominate Mackenzie to flush out this power, she deserves to go up as the nominee when it eventually gets used. I'm saying it. If you're going to go and win HoH when you had absolutely no reason to do it, none at all, you would have been fine. It would not have been you who went up on the block. But no, she decides she might not use it. And again, we don't know. I still think her eventual nominees will be something like Lisa, Kenney, MJ. It could be something like Lisa, Leah, MJ. Any mix of those. I could see Angela as a possibility, but I don't think she's going to do that. So it'll be interesting. Also, with the have-nots, a couple other funny little things. So one, Lisa ended up blessing all the beds with her moon water in some kind of ritual that, listen, guys, at this point, I'm not 100% sure. She's not a witch, and her niece is Sabrina. They got a little cat named Salem and stuff. It was weird, but they're a little delusional. They think that not only would Chelsea not put up a girl, she wouldn't put up the have-nots. They're going to keep them safe. They're going to keep them safe. And honestly, earlier, I think I mentioned it, when Chelsea had her HoH reveal, Lisa, I almost didn't think she was going to go. She was just like huddled up in the HoH room, like she was asking BB to turn the lights off, but eventually she did end up joining them. And I thought she was all like sad and upset, not necessarily because she's a have-not or anything. I thought she was like fully aware that like, oh, Chelsea winning HoH means I'm probably going up on the block. No, they are so delusional. She thinks that she won't put up a girl. She won't put up the have-nots. I don't know how to tell you, Lisa, but you're going up on the block. You not only are you going up on the block, you're the target this week. Ooh. We could see another fun week here. We could see another fun week here, especially with a sleep-deprived, hungry Lisa getting thrown all around on the nomination block. What do you think Chelsea should do with her HoH? Should she flush out the power with MJ? Should she nominate Lisa? Should she put up Kenney if Kenny's going to be throwing? And if you want to get Lisa out, Kenney throwing and trying to go home probably isn't best for your situation. What would you do if you were Chelsea? What would you do if you were just HoH? Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you joining me here every morning for these live updates. And I really can't stress enough how grateful I am for each and every one of you. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video? If you made it all the way to the end of this video, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out all the links to my socials, the pinned comment down below in the description. Twitch, Twitter, Discord. Discord was where I was announcing that I couldn't stream. So if you're in there, you get those kind of updates too. I probably should have put a post on Twitter and on YouTube too. Again, apologies. I'm going to try and get that all fixed up so we can get some live streams going as well. And before we do leave you for the day, we do have another message from Leah. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
It's Leah. It's nice to meet ya. I'm a have-not, but I'm still hot. I came to stay and to play. Come with me, let's get this 7 figures.